Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Defining Discipline podcast. I'm your host, Scott. Defining discipline is a lifestyle, a mentality, and a brand. And within this podcast, we're going to focus on self-improvement as you follow along with me on my journey. We will also hear from special guests of all walks of life on this podcast and their remarkable journeys that led them to where they are today. Today is day 119 of my journey, and at the beginning of the year, I challenged myself to run 365 days in a row, all outside, bearing the elements, whatever they may bring. I also challenged myself to run 1,250 miles within that time frame. Now, this is only my second year ever running. Within the first year, I was able to run 1,001 miles, and I was also able to run 175 days to achieve that 1,001 miles. So this will be a 25% step up in the amount of miles I am going for this year, as well as a 100% step up in the amount of days I am attempting to run. I also have a 50K trail race coming up here in June that I'm really looking forward to. I think that is going to be the biggest challenge within my challenge is going out running 30 miles and then getting out the next day and still being able to pump out at least a mile. Other than that, I do have a marathon in October that I'm running. I'm really looking forward for that as well. But other than that, let's kind of just get right into miles. I can't keep this episode going too much longer, so I just want to get into miles and then get into the episode. So for the day, guys, for day 119, I got out there. I pumped out 4.1 miles for the day. That put me at 27.5 miles for the week. Those that follow along know I do a bare minimum of 25 miles a week. I like to hit 33, but even more is better. So currently sitting at 27.5. Now every month I do a 100-mile challenge in honor of different charities and fundraisers. January, February, March, we were able to hit the 100 miles as well as raise money for three great charities, American Cancer Society, the Detroit Black Community Food Security Network, and Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. Now we're sitting here in April, which is going to close out here tomorrow, but the fundraiser closes out, I think, May 7th, May 8th. But this fundraiser is for Autism Speaks because April was Autism Awareness Month, guys, and we're trying to raise awareness and money for this fundraiser. So if you guys would like to make any kind of donation, you can find the link to donate on the Defining Discipline Instagram and the Defining Discipline Facebook stories, as well as my personal pages, Instagram and Facebook stories. Within the story, it'll say April's 100-mile challenge for Autism Speaks. At the very top, it'll say donate on Facebook. You click where it says donate on Facebook. It'll open you up another Facebook link where you can put however much you want to donate into the donate box. You click on it, it'll donate. All donations that get made through this donation or through this fundraiser, all of it goes to the charity. 0% goes to me, 0% goes to Facebook. That's why I continue to do these fundraisers through Facebook, because they aren't taking a cut. Other than that, guys, let's get into miles for the month. So we've talked about the charities. We've talked about the miles for the day, 4.1 miles for the week, 27.5. Now miles for the month, we are at 145.7, guys. This is a PR. I got tomorrow to finish it out. I am going to try to pump out a 4.3 mile run in order to hit 150 even for the month. That'll be my personal record of how the most miles I've ever been able to put out in 1 month. So really excited and stoked about that. Now, other than that, for the year, we are sitting at 510 miles for the year. Now, let's get right into today's episode and let's talk about it. So today is day 119, and for today's episode 119, today's theme is going to be boundaries. And we're going to talk about that because we set boundaries, for ourselves. We set boundaries for other people to not cross within our realm or whatever the case may be. But I want to talk about the boundaries that we kind of set for ourselves and how when we set boundaries, we have them set. So we have an idea of how far we think we can take it. But we never, ever, ever reach the boundary. I think, we get maybe halfway to the boundary and then we start thinking, well, we're getting too close to the boundary, so let's head back to the center. And I'm going to kind of talk about this in the aspect of my running. I just told you now I have hit my all-time PR for the month, 145.7 miles. And to think back when I first started running, it took me through 2.5 months to hit 100 miles. Thinking back then to just even hit, 50 miles a month seemed impossible. My boundaries were so small, but then I kind of started to really start pushing them and start trying to make them expand the boundaries and just let them get bigger and bigger. And then, pushing myself to 100 miles a month seemed pretty hard, pretty impossible. But then I'm doing it. I'm going out there and I'm getting it done. And then in the middle of the year, middle of the year of last year, 2020, I'm pushing myself. I'm getting, 125 miles a month, and I'm getting blown away. I'm like, holy crap, I can't believe I have pushed myself to this point where if I look back, just a year ago, not even a year ago, a half a year ago from that point when I was hitting 125, just look back at, just about a half a year ago, I could barely pump out 25 miles a month. I think I got 25. I guess I did a little bit more than 25. I guess I said back. We'll go back to 50, I think, because I did a little bit in October, and then in November and December of 2019, I really pumped out 50 miles in order to hit the 100 miles for the year within the 2 months, full basic 2 months I ran. But yeah, it's just interesting how we set these boundaries up for ourselves, and until we actually decide to try to reach them or push them or expand them, we kind of just stay in the middle. And I think we stay in the middle, and then when we get, like I said, when we get close enough, we know that boundary's set in our mind, so we don't even try to go any farther. We don't ever try to push ourselves farther. I think that's kind of the mentality that we all get stuck in, and it's not necessarily just a physical like exertion of going out there and working out mentality. I think it's something that we set boundaries for ourselves within every realm of our lives, and we don't ever try to push them because maybe it's out of fear, maybe it's out of laziness, whatever the case may be. I think you guys will be way more surprised with the outcome if you really try to start pushing the boundaries that you have set for yourself. Other than that, we can kind of talk about boundaries you can set for other people. Yes, you need to be independent, and you need to be strong and set boundaries for other people that they should not cross. But at the same time, maybe reevaluate some of the boundaries you have set. Maybe you've set the boundaries, maybe you set the bar too high for other people, the boundaries. Maybe you haven't set it too high, so I don't know what personal boundaries you are setting. So I kind of wanted to stick to this episode being more about the personal boundaries you set for yourself, not the ones that you set for other people, because I don't really know the situations you guys have. And I don't want to compare them to mine. I just know the situation of the boundaries that we all have, setting them for ourselves. I think we all have that in common, where we set these boundaries and we don't ever attempt to really push them. There are a few people out there that do that, and I think those are the people, you know those people because they're the difference makers. They're the ones that have pushed the boundaries in their favor. So that's pretty much it, guys. I don't want to keep you too much longer. I have to get this episode uploaded and posted before I have to get ready to leave for work here today. That's why I kind of did a morning run and a morning episode. We're doing for the next 2 days. Other than that, thank you so much. I will see you guys tomorrow, but I want to give you your daily discipline, and it is the boundaries, like I said. Analyze the boundaries you are setting for yourself, and actually try to push them a little bit. Push your boundaries, expand the boundaries, and really see what you're capable of. I think you guys will really be surprised of what your body and what your mind and what you are able to do when you start really pushing the boundaries that you have set for yourself. So that is your daily discipline for the day. Thank you guys so much for listening. This is the Defining Discipline podcast. I am your host, Scott. If you guys can, please give this podcast a like, a subscribe, a follow, and a share on our Facebook, our Instagram, and our YouTube, and whatever podcast streaming platforms you may be listening on. Other than that, guys, thank you so much again for listening. If you guys can, I want to just touch back to, kind of in the middle of the episode. Um, if you guys can, please, let's get some donations in while we got the last few days here for April. Let's try to get a few donations in for Autism Speaks. And that's pretty much it. I will see you guys tomorrow for episode 119. Make sure you guys stay disciplined to get your daily discipline done for the day. I am your host, Scott. This is the Defining Discipline Podcast. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.